First, when you're 135 kilos and you make small changes like that, you'll pre-diabetic, in the dog, where there's people who've lost weight on Ozempic, but gotten fatter. So the strategy is don't do it. I regret it. You underestimate how much your brain is affected by your body. You also lose a lot of muscle mass, and you might even become unhealthier. You don't have to go to the gym, you don't have to do Jiu Jitsu, just whatever you enjoy and you want to do.
Yeah, we're just trying to enjoy the life and maybe help someone. All right, before we dive deep, just know there is a wild story ahead. And if you're into real transformation, mindset shift, this channel is for you. Stick around, hit subscribe. I hope it gives you something useful. Hi guys, so how to start?
Whatever you want.
Okay, this is Maxway, and today I'm starting a new format of videos where I sit down with the people I'm interested in, and we're just sharing the stories, and hopefully it's going to be motivational, helpful, or maybe just entertainful for you. Entertaining for you, I'm sorry. And this is the episode 1 of Maxway Stories. And I'm here with Mr. Thomas, gentleman who lost over 60 kgs in 1 year, get his blue belt, and made to the podium on the local Jiu Jitsu competition. So let's talk how it all happened and how we end up here, yeah? So my first question, why are you gay? No. Okay, now...
Because I do Jiu-Jitsu.
Because I do Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, that's good. So, the first question, of course, just let's introduce yourself. Just briefly, just say something about yourself, yeah?
Yeah, so my name is Thomas Kareem. I've been here in the UAE for like most of my life. Been overweight for most of my life, but bouncing around, trying different sports, trying different things. And it feels like this time finally the change is stuck, and so I'm here to talk with Maxime, a good friend, about it.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 26.
26, and what's your weight now?
Now I'm fluctuating between 75 and 76 kg.
75, 76, okay. And okay, let's go straight to the point from how much you was weighted and now how much you weigh. So how much you lost?
Sure. So at my heaviest, I weighed around 135 kilos, 136 kilos. When I started my weight loss journey beginning of 2024, I was 135.
135.
And over the course of about a year and 2 months, I dropped to 75, 77 kilos.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, let's, since we all involved in Jiu Jitsu, and let's talk a little bit about that side, because I remember one of the first or maybe second day when you come to training. I think I even was training with you. Like I remember your condition. I mean, how you was overweighted and how you was moving. But I remember you was still positive. Even like you have this positive attitude. Like even like you was feeling you was moving a little bit sloppy maybe. Like, but still I was kind of impressed with your positive attitude. So do you remember your first Jiu Jitsu session, or how you came to Jiu Jitsu? Something can you talk about a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So I actually have always been interested in Jiu Jitsu, but I never had the bravery to go. I was always hesitant. I didn't want to go, whatever. And I actually took my 2 little siblings to come train here.
Okay.
And
They still train with us?
No, they stopped training. They're lazy. No, but I took them here and to support them because they were a little bit nervous too. I said, I'll train with you. And I think the first class was a Nogi class with a guy you know very well, Leo.
Leo, okay.
And man, I could not do anything to save my life. Like it was some basic move we were working, I think some shoulder lock or some shoulder crunch. And I felt confused. What side am I moving my arm? What's going on? It was kind of overwhelming. But it's really nice, the environment here. People were very patient.
Yeah.
They were like playful with you. They were letting you try things.
Yeah.
They didn't get frustrated with you that you were, and this really helps you, come and show up, because everyone knows the first time you try a combat sport or jiu-jitsu, it's kind of a nerve-wracking feeling, you know.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah.
little bit nervous. So when people ease you in and help you out, it makes it fun. And I think that's how you can stay positive when you're having fun and enjoying
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Just want to ask you, why jiu-jitsu? You said you was always interested in the jiu-jitsu, but where it came from? Like, where this idea came from?
I remember I was in university and I was watching the Conor McGregor versus Khabib fight in a
Okay.
bar with some of my friends. And since that day, me and my roommate, who we watched that fight, we were like, "Oh, we're gonna go to a class." And I think we went to some club near our university. We trained like twice, and it was quite a rough and hectic environment, and we didn't go back.
In Dubai.
No, in Canada. I went to
Canada.
university in Toronto. But we fell in love, you know, watching the UFC, watching the kind of like wrestling style Khabib did, you know. It was inspiring. And we're like, oh, we want to try this, you know.
Okay.
And also, it's
So basically, you're a regular UFC guy who get hooked with all this media stuff and jiu-jitsu marketing, right?
Yeah.
But still, it's work out for you, yeah? Have you tried or do you do anything apart of jiu-jitsu?
Actually, I think I can like expand on that a bit. Maybe I'll start with when I started losing weight. So I came back. I was living in Sweden. I came back to Dubai, and I took that opportunity of moving somewhere to change my lifestyle.
Okay.
And obviously, being at 135 kilos at the start, it's very difficult. You know, you don't want to hurt yourself. It's even basic. You know, just running on a treadmill or something is difficult for your joints and stuff. So I started by just walking my dog. I would walk the dog like once or twice a day for half an hour, whatever I could, and just slowly getting more fit. Then after that became easier, I started going to the gym maybe once a week, twice a week, and I think slowly I was building up. So it started with walking the dog, then the gym. Then I started coming to Jiu Jitsu. The first week of Jiu Jitsu, I came once. Then the second week, I came twice. And just slowly building that up. I think what happens is all of us get excited. You know, you reach rock bottom. Let's say you're at your heaviest you've ever been, or you're at a very bad point in your life, and you feel like, I want to make a change. And you go all in, you go 100%. But then you set really high goals and you fail to meet them. And what happens when you do that is it kills your confidence. And when your confidence to meet your goals gets killed, you become less motivated, you know? So let's say you say, I'm going to go to the gym 6 times this week, and you only go 5. If you compare to the old you who went 0, you're doing great.
Yeah.
But because you set your goal at 6, your mind treats you as, oh, you failed. I didn't make my goal. But if you make your goal so easy, you know, like it doesn't even have to be go to the gym once. It could be as easy as like today, in the morning, I'm going to do 1 push-up.
Actually, any progression.
From 0, right?
0.
And that builds your confidence slowly, and then you get more motivated, and then you have more fun, and you want to do more, and you slowly build up like that. So what happened to me is I started gymming. So I would gym regularly 3 to 6 times a week. And when I fell in love with jiu-jitsu and got really addicted, I started doing this 6 times a week and gym 3 times a week.
Wow. Yeah. That's impressive. But it's a lot of time consuming, I believe so, yeah? So how you manage the recovery then? Because if you do 6 times jiu-jitsu, 6 times gym, how you manage the workload or something? Do you have any strategy for that, yeah?
So the strategy is don't do it. I regret it. No, seriously, I did, I think it was a 6-week program of 6 days a week with 6 days a week of jiu-jitsu. And man, like you really feel it on your joints, on how tired you are. It's tough. There are ways to be smart about it, you know, like having low intensity days in jiu-jitsu, having days in the gym which are easier.
Basically, you were not really smart about it, yeah? You went to the
I went hard, yeah.
Hardcore.
So I kept increasing. So what happened is I started with 1 day, 2 days, like I told you. It got to 6 days a week of gym and 6 days a week of jiu-jitsu. But then I started feeling that, and I realized I couldn't keep going at this pace. But the important thing was not to quit, to rather, you know, reduce something. And because I was really in love with jiu-jitsu and having so much fun here, I decided, okay, I'll take down the gym from 6 days to 5 to 4 to 3.
So you started reducing. You couldn't keep it up, right?
I couldn't keep it up. So now I do 3 days a week of gym. And I feel like it's a good balance for me with how much jiu-jitsu I'm training.
Okay. That's a good point to to note and understand. You don't have to go all in, especially at the beginning if you didn't do any sports, any activities. So the slower progression is the key also, right?
Yeah.
What about your diet? What about your diet routine? How it changed, how you start, and how it looks like now?
Yeah, so a little bit about when I was like very obese.
Yeah.
I would eat a lot of prepackaged foods. I would be lazy to cook, so like frozen pizzas, hot pockets.
Actually, this would get you there.
That's
Probably,
yes, yeah. Cola. I'm trying to think. A lot of things that were like prepackaged and ready-made. You know, you're lazy to cook and you just do stuff like that. And when I came here and I started, I also started small. You know, the first thing is like replacing small things. Like instead of having a normal Coke, you'd have a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
You know, then let's say I wouldn't have all my meals changed. I would start by like, okay, my breakfast today is going to be like a nice and healthy breakfast, but a breakfast I still enjoy. Like I think we've talked about this meal before, which is just protein powder with some oats and some fruits in it. You know, like I really enjoy the meal. The meal is tasty for me. I don't dread eating it, and so that was an easy swap to do in the morning. And then slowly adjusting, increasing the protein intake. I also started taking Ozempic at that time.
Okay, so you was taking Ozempic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I took Ozempic at that time, and that helped crave the appetite, and it helped like suppress the amount of calories I was eating. Because I think a struggle a lot of people have is you want to do a healthy diet, but you start craving your usual things. You know, you want to eat the sweets, you want to eat the candy, and so that really helped to be able to focus on switching to the clean foods, and then it became at first when you're 135 kilos and you make small changes like that, you'll notice the weight will drop fast, you know, because I was really obese.
Yeah.
So just making those small changes, walking the dog,
Yeah.
my weight started to drop fast.
Yeah.
I think in the first 2 months I lost maybe 12 or 15 kilos.
Okay. Wow.
Then as you start losing more weight, the progression started to slow down. And same thing with the gym, slowly increasing the progression. I did the same thing with the diet, where eventually it got to the point of like counting calories, tracking exactly what I eat. And I know a lot of people have busy lives. You know, you have work.
You was tracking the calories.
I was tracking the calories.
And you still tracking?
No, so now when I've reached my goal weight and I've been maintaining it for a little while, I wanted a break. I was kind of bored of tracking.
Okay.
And so what I do is I monitor my weight on the scale.
Okay.
And as long as my weight stays within this range, I'm not tracking. I just try and get healthy meals, lots of protein, stuff like this. If I notice that my weight starts to creep up again, then maybe I'll go back to calorie counting and tracking.
So it was annoying for you to track?
Yeah, I don't enjoy it.
Because I do track now, and it's not really bothering me, to be honest. Like, I mean, sometimes like it's annoying, but it's so minor thing for me. Like, for example, I'll give you example. If I feel like lazy now, I'm so hungry, I want to eat now. I don't have time to fill up my application. I just take a picture of everything. I eat, and then I enjoy the meal. I sit down, and then after that, with a peace of mind, I put in my fitness pal or wherever you guys can use. So, but it's very rare.
But the thing for me, based on like my work, I'm traveling a lot. Eating dinners with clients, also hectic. So you're like the prepackaged food. So like having like these protein bars and protein shakes, it's easy to track. But when you eat in a restaurant, you don't know what they put in the food. You know, how much butter, how much oil. So it was difficult to track, and that was like a nuisance. You know, like I don't know. When you feel like you're doing something not right, it bothers you, you know, and you put less effort in. Where I'm like, I don't know how many calories are in this food. I could guess based on the quantity and stuff, but I don't know. It's like, oh, I don't really feel motivated to track. Whereas if you're cooking by yourself and eating, you know, relatively clean, bringing your food with you, that's definitely a step I could take, especially if I, you know, want to compete again, maybe at a lower weight class at like 69 kilos. I think, you know, I'd have to start preparing my food when I go on travels, making sure that I'm within this calories, like the calories allotted. But I think, you know, generally what I want to say is that make it fun. If something really stresses you out, if you hate counting calories, Like, don't do it, man. There's other ways to lose weight. If it's the last resort, you're not losing weight, everything's not working. Okay, maybe you have to count calories, but same thing with like the gym. Yeah, we like jiu-jitsu. We come here, we enjoy it. We want to. We hang out with our friends. We have a great time.
Yeah.
So we want to come more.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're burning calories.
Yeah,
you're
'cause it's
improving
fun.
your health because it's fun. Maybe for someone else, jiu-jitsu is not the sport. You're like, oh, I hate it. Someone sweaty is over me and we're rolling around and it's painful and all of this. Maybe you like swimming. Maybe you like cycling. For the people with kids as well, like it doesn't even have to be going to the gym. Go play with your kids in the kids park. You know, go take them out cycling. You know, go play something football outside with your
Yeah.
child. You know.
Any actual activities will bring you fun. You
Yeah,
get it, right?
yeah. If you're enjoying it, you'll do it more.
Yeah. If there was any wake up call for you, or like the moment of realization, like, okay, I cannot live like this anymore, I have to do some changes in life, or how it came to your idea, like that you have to change, to have you change your life. And this was your first attempt to lose weight, or you already tried before? If you tried and you fail, what do you think why you fail? So a little bit longer question, but if you can.
Sure. So I've been overweight like pretty much my whole life. I can remember since being like 9 years old, I've been overweight. And like I've tried many times to lose weight. Sometimes, you know, my parents would tell me, you know, we're going to send you to the gym or try this diet or try that diet. A lot of times it was someone else telling me I had to do it. So it wasn't like this self-motivation.
Okay.
And even when it was the self-motivation, sometimes it was this like all-in thing I would tell you about, where I would go like, clean diet of just like
All or
white
nothing,
rice,
all or nothing.
broccoli and chicken, and I would hate it. And you would force yourself to do it, and maybe you would force yourself with your willpower to stick to it for 2 months.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you would be so miserable, eventually you would fall off the wagon, and then you would feel shit like, can I swear?
Yes.
You would feel
Like I'm just guessing if I have any kids subscribers now. Yeah, you know that, of course.
yeah, you would feel shit
Yeah.
because you failed your goals, and oh, I went off the bandwagon and I ate 3 pizzas because whatever, you know, and then you would have this like rebound cycle. So I had phases where it's funny actually. One of my friends, I haven't seen him in many years, you know, and when I saw him, I was skinnier, and you know what he told me?
Yeah.
He's like, every time I see you, I don't know if you're going to be obese or skinny.
Because all the time you was
Because I was
bouncing.
fluctuating, bouncing,
Yeah.
you know, like there were times where I was 90 kilos, then 80, then 100, then 110, then, you know, and I was
But-
bouncing around a
But
lot.
question: it was intentionally, or it just the lifestyle was changing and you was forced to lose the fat? But my question was like, have you tried intentionally to lose
Yes.
it and you failed it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I tried in high school, I tried in uni, and so what would happen is like, I would try and lose weight. I would have some motivation, some trigger, you know, something. Oh, I stepped on the scale and my weight was higher than it's ever been before, or I had some health problem. I was like pre-diabetic, you know, and the doctor says, oh, you need to reduce your weight, and then that would be like some motivation. I would go all in, go for 3 months, maybe sometimes a year, and then fall off the bandwagon.
Yeah.
You know, like I think. For example, in university, I got down to like 80, 81 kilos. Then COVID happened and we were stuck at home and there was nothing to do. And I stopped exercising, started eating like crap, bounced back up to 100, stuff like that.
But what do you think? What the reason why you didn't succeed all these times? Like why you succeed now, and all these attempts was like
Because,
nothing.
so before, I think the easiest way to put it is that it comes back to like, okay, I'll phrase you a question. Okay, there's two
Yeah.
people you see.
Yeah.
One guy, you talk to him about the gym and he says, oh, I really want to go to the gym tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you talk to the other guy and he says, I really need to go to the gym tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who's the guy who you think is going to be more successful in losing weight or staying healthy?
I think, man, I don't know, to be honest, because I maybe the one who want to go.
So this is my theory that if you need to go, if you feel like you're forcing yourself, if you feel like you have to go, that's willpower. You're forcing yourself. You can't stick to it for the long term. Maybe you can force. Maybe you're David Goggins and you can do it for a year, 2 years. But eventually, you go back to your old habits. You know. But if it's something you're enjoying, where you want to have this lifestyle, it makes you happy. You come see your friends at the gym. You know, you're getting benefits out of it that is more worth than the suck. You know. Because everything has trade-offs in life. You know. Time you're spending at the gym, you could be spending at home with your family. You could be out doing something fun. You could watch a movie. But if the benefits are more and you really want to be there, then you can stick to it.
Okay, if I understood you correctly, you didn't realize you had a problem that much big that you really want to go, or no? Or you realized you had a problem, but for some reason you didn't want to go. You have a maybe mental block or something.
Something like that.
Like shy or whatever, like uncomfortable to be maybe in that environment at that point. Is it correct? No.
I think, like, yes, you know that you're fat and you know that you have to lose weight, right? But let's say you're going to the gym and you're going by yourself and you're not really having fun, you know? You see some progress, you're excited, whatever. After a while, you stop. The first time I lost a lot of weight, I got into powerlifting. And I really liked it. It was really fun. I wanted to go over and over again. It was fun seeing the numbers go up. It was fun talking to other people about the lifts you're doing and, oh, he hit this PR and supporting each other and stuff. And now the second time, it's like, here, man, I'm having so much fun. And my friends are at the gym. I want to show up. You want to support them. There's competitions we're going together. You're learning new things. You're laughing. Like, there's no other place you'd rather be. And then it sticks. You know, when you really want something, that switch happens.
So basically, the external support from another people community also played a role, right?
For sure, 100%.
Okay, so that's interesting, to be honest. That's interesting, and it's important to understand as well then that it's easier. I'm trying to analyze now to find a community or something like who's gonna support you. You're not gonna be alone on that way. Yeah, if you're alone, it's hard.
Yeah.
On your last journey, which is still going on of your transformation, I hope will never end. Have you ever had like plateaus or setbacks? And if yes, how you deal with that?
So I think a lot of times when weight loss is a very obvious example of this, but this happens with a lot of things in life where you think progress is like a straight line up or a straight line down. But a lot of times progress is like a wavy chart. You know, sometimes it goes up, then you go down a little, then it goes up, then it goes down a little. And first of all, understanding that, you know, not panicking. You know, you're still moving in the right direction, even if you had to step down a few meters. You know, you're still going in the right way, not panicking, stay on course, stay on your plan, and then making adjustments. So being patient. First of all, let's say you did your weigh-ins this week, you're a little bit above the weight you were targeting, or you gained a little bit of weight. It's like, okay, analyze the situation. Did I do anything? Did I eat out? Okay, there's nothing crazy that I did. Let's wait another week. Sometimes just waiting another week and continuing with your plan, it was just a fluke. Maybe you had a lot of salt, you blew up some water or whatever, and it goes away anyway. Second week comes, no, I'm still gaining weight or I haven't lost. Then it's time to make some active change. And this is where we talked about, like, at some point I was like plateaued and I was like, okay, this isn't working anymore. I need to do something to another level. I started counting calories, you know, or I started...
active adjustments on the way.
Same thing with, let's say you had a meal where you're eating chicken, rice, and some veg on the side. You're noticing, okay, I'm starting to plateau, I'm starting to get stuck. Maybe you reduce the rice a little bit and you add more veggies. This way you're still full, you're still getting to eat more food. You're not hungry and your plate is still full, but the amount of total calories is less. At one point I plateaued, and the only change I did that helped me break that plateau was I stopped liquid calories. I was consuming shakes and some juices and some milk and stuff. And I said 0 liquid calories.
I think that's a big one. I think it's a big one and very underrated, to be honest. Because I'm also now in kind of phase of transformation. And I mean, it's not like I was consuming a lot, but still some sauces I like to add to my food or something, so I'm more conscious about it. And yeah, I think it really works. Do you want to add something on this question? Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No. I'm just thinking that, like, the idea is, I'm just giving examples, there's many things that people can do to fit into their own life,
Yeah.
based on their diet, finding options that are different. And a really good tool as well is to check with like AI, Chat GPT, or stuff like that, and just ask it questions. It can really answer you a lot of questions. Hey, I want to cook, like you ask it for a recipe for lasagna, right? Or spaghetti or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
and it gives you a recipe. Then you make adjustments to it that reduces the calories. So instead of using beef in your spaghetti bolognese that's 20% fat, you swap it to a 12% fat. Now you have the same amount of food, but it's less calories. You add small changes like this that can really, day by day, they have a big effect, because what you eat every day is what matters, right? It's not that one-off meal on the weekend where you have a thing. It's what you eat every day. So if you change those two, like you probably eat 5 to 10 meals all the time. You just rotate between these. These are your like main meals. So if you make small adjustments to those, you can really make a big change in your body composition without that much effort.
Yeah. Like what change in your mindset, maybe on your mentality, in your physicality? Of course, physicality is easier to measure because you become leaner, you become stronger, more agile, more flexible. It's easier to track. But what about the mental changes? Like, did you feel any like mental changes what happened since you dropped that much weight? Like, and if you yes, like, can you talk about it a bit?
For sure. I think you underestimate how much your brain is affected by your body. So when your body is unhealthy, it really affects your brain, your mental health in a lot of ways. You're maybe more negative, you're more tired. That could also be from the sleep, from being overweight and stuff, And when you're tired already and things are painful, maybe your joints hurt, your back hurts because you're so overweight, it affects your mood and you start to bring that into other aspects of life. But you don't realize, once you start losing weight, you feel better, you slept better, you wake up in the morning, you're in a better mood, and then suddenly everything affects, your confidence changes, the way you feel excited to try stuff. It really opens up a lot of opportunities. Like your mental health is linked with your physical health. And I think we underappreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
And when your body feels better, your brain feels better. You're able to focus on your tasks at work. You're able to indulge in your hobbies more. You're able to give more time to your loved ones. You're sleeping better when you're more aware. All these things change. You need to actively work on them, of course, but at the same time, they really improve when you improve your physical health.
I'm always interested in such a cases. How's your close friends, your family members, and like people around you, usually day to day, how they react on your transformation? What comment they do? Like, did you notice something?
Yeah. So, like, everyone was very supportive. Everyone I would meet, family, friends, everyone, they're excited when you're losing weight and they're supporting you. And they're happy for you. It's really nice to have people around you who encourage you and you're doing a great job. In some ways also people mean well, like let's say when you're overweight, your family means well and they tell you, hey, you need to lose weight and stuff. But I think a lot of people who are overweight, most of the time you're aware. Like you're fat and that you need to lose weight. Yeah. So the comments just like sometimes they get on your nerves and you're like, oh, like I know, you don't need to tell me that I'm overweight. So I think generally now when I see someone who's let's say overweight, I don't comment at all. Only if they bring up the conversation and they want to ask for advice or they want to talk about it, then it's something you talk about because they're seeking help. Because also when you say it positive or negative, even if you have good intentions and I say, wow, Maxime, you've lost a lot of weight, maybe for you've gained weight on the scale, and you feel
So do you think better not to do any comments, even positive comments then?
I think it's good to support people, especially if they talk about it. He came in with new clothes, or he's excited, or let's say he buys new clothes. You say, wow, the clothes are looking really nice on you. I love this new outfit you bought. This way, they feel the changes, and if they bring up the conversation, it's fun to talk about with them. And I'm sure they're excited to show that they lost weight. But sometimes people are not in that situation where they want to talk about their body, and it's like, okay, I'm just not gonna give you a positive or negative comment, and especially things that are directly related to their body, because sometimes people have self-body image issues where I feel like you might look great, but you're like, no, I really don't like the way my arm looks, or I don't like that. So I'd just rather like leave that alone, and like generally things that can be changed are easier to make comments on than things that can't be changed. So like, let's say I don't like your hairstyle. Yeah, I can say like, Max, your hairstyle doesn't look good. You can cut your hair and change it, so it's not the end of the world. Or you can keep it because you like it, right? But I'm not making a comment about you that's not changeable. But if I say like, oh, Max, I really dislike the mole on your hand. It looks ugly. Like this is something that you're born with and is going to be with you for the rest of your life. So it's much more sensitive, or something that you wouldn't comment on.
Okay, interesting. Because I do a lot of comments, but my intention, 99.9% is positive. No, I'm joking. Of course, I'm doing only with close people who I know will not get offended. Let's talk a little bit of, because you mentioned it, and I think it's important then to go a little bit deeper on that matter. So you used Ozempic, basically because you had, if I understood correctly from what you said, you have pre-diabetes, and you went to the doctor, and the doctor prescribed you that, or how it happened?
Actually, so I was living in Sweden at the time, and in Sweden you needed a prescription from the doctor and some other condition, so blood pressure or diabetes, something like that. But then when I moved here, you don't need a prescription in Dubai.
Okay.
And I was already on the process of getting it there, so coming here, it's like, might as well. I've already discussed this. I've done research as well. I've talked to a doctor about it. Let me come here, and once I'm sure, I'm confident about this decision, going with it. I highly recommend that people go to a doctor first, because you're injecting yourself with a medication that obviously has side effects. You want to make sure that your doctor tells you it's safe.
We don't promote any of those things. Just since he had such experience, we need to mention it, right?
Yeah. No, but it's really life changing. Like if I told you I tried many times in my life, and a lot of times you fail because of, I'm sure people have had this experience, cutting weight or trying to lose weight, and you have really strong cravings. Your mood starts, like, let's say you're deep into a cut, your mood starts to get bad. You start to sleep less hours. You start to wake up in the middle of the night hungry. You start to become
physically affects you, right?
Yeah, you start to become food focused. Like I remember at one point in one of my cuts, before this successful one, I was like, I just finished my meal, and I was looking at the clock for when my next planned meal was. Like I'm waiting till it's 2 p.m. so I can eat my next meal. And I'm sure people have this experience a lot. And really, what I found with this is that it helps you. If you continue with your crap lifestyle, it's still, you might lose weight, but you also lose a lot of muscle mass, and you might even become unhealthier.
So the only Ozempic itself will not help you. You have to, as I understood, right? You have to maintain active lifestyle, still do your diet and everything.
So this is actually funny. There's people, I read a study where there's people who've lost weight on Ozempic, but gotten fatter.
After?
No, during taking it. So they lost weight. So he used to weigh 80 kilos. Now he weighs 70 kilos, but his body fat percentage went up.
So they lose the muscles, actually.
They lose muscles, bone density, and fat. But because they're doing it in an unhealthy way, they ended up being fatter while at a lower weight. So really, you want to definitely check with your doctor. I'm not a doctor, but maintaining proper physical exercise, trying to get a healthy diet in, being careful with using the medication, these kind of things.
Okay, another follow-up question about that. Do you think, would you make it without this? I'm not sure like about that much difference, or like, I mean, it's going to be, how big this medication like on your journey? Is it like a main thing that help you, or you think it's still possible to do it without?
I think it's possible to do without, but what would have taken now 1 year would have taken 4, 5.
Okay, it just speeded up the process, yeah?
It speeded up the process. Why? Because let's say I did...
Sorry, we have to make one more disclaimer. We don't promote anything. Don't take anything without doctor
advice. Yes.
he just sharing his own experience, what he went through, and yeah, that's
No, so like, if I go back to previous experiences of previous times where I've lost weight, let's say you cut for 3 months. At the end of those 3 months, your side effects from the cut are quite high. Your sleep is affected, you start to get crazy for food, you're becoming more cravings, more hungry, all these kind of things. So usually at that point, the smart move is to stop your diet and try and maintain the weight there until your body, normalizes.
then your body composition.
Yeah, so you just stay at, let's say you cut from 100 to 90, you stay at 90 for the same amount of time that it took you to cut that weight.
Okay.
So if you're dieting for 3 months, you stop for 3 months of maintenance, then you start your diet again. And this way, the process is still doable, but it's a much longer journey. So
And more healthy, probably.
probably more healthy. You want to lose weight slower. The other thing is, I can't answer you 100% if I would have been able to do it without the medication or not. Because there is one thing which, when you lose weight like quickly and you're able to continue on this journey, it's like a snowball. The motivation keeps happening. You're losing weight, you're getting more excited, you're training more. I think a struggle a lot of people have is if you have to cut for 3 months, then break for 3 months, then start again, which is the healthy way to do it. It demotivates you. Things take a longer time. It's still doable. It's definitely more difficult.
And I think the last one on that topic, do you think the people who has like 5, 10, 15 kgs extra only, I mean only, it's already a lot, but still like to compare with, it's not obesity, right? Should they consider such a way, or when they have to go and get the to see the doctor? What do you think? When they have to seek for the help of professionals? I'm not talking the personal trainers. I'm talking about the medical professionals.
So I think like there's a few things, right? Let's say you've done a lot of these things. You've counted your calories, you've exercised, you've done all of this, and you feel like you're at a higher weight than is good for you, whether it's BMI or you checked your body fat, not just the way you feel and look, but genuinely there's some evidence showing that you're overweight, it's, I know BMI is not the greatest tool because of muscle mass and whatever, but let's say BMI or your body fat on a DEXA scan or something is like, you should lose some weight. Then you've tried everything. You could go to a doctor because there are medical issues. There are stuff like you could have a thyroid problem. You could have, like women have something called PCOS, which really affects weight loss sometimes. There's definitely things that can affect it that a doctor can help with by giving you medication. That's not even necessarily Ozempic, like fixing your thyroid issue can help. And in terms of Ozempic or similar medications, generally like the studies that they did was on a lot of people who had comorbidities. And in a lot of countries, they prescribe it to you when you have some kind of issue. So even if you have only 10 kilos to lose, like I have a friend of mine who's not maybe 10 kilos overweight, something like this, but he has high blood pressure, so his doctor says like, hey, you need to lose urgently because of your blood pressure. So there he can talk with his doctor, discuss it, and maybe it's an option for him. But if you're doing it for aesthetic reasons or you just want to feel a little bit better, it's something that you have to decide for yourself, with a discussion with a doctor that...
but still, discussion with the doctor, right?
I think so. I think it's better to be because it's expensive. You're paying money for it. You're injecting yourself. Like there's some stories I can tell you. Like if you inject insulin, it's a daily injection. So Ozempic is a weekly injection. And I know a story of a woman who by accident thought that Ozempic, she didn't read the instructions or she made a mistake. She thought it was a daily injection.
Wow.
So she injected herself, I think 4 or 5 days in a row, and she had to go to the hospital. And basically for 2 weeks, she was bedridden in the hospital. They had to give her IV drip. She couldn't drink water. She couldn't eat. She just felt like throwing up the whole time. So, definitely you can mess up, if you misread the instructions, you take the wrong dose, all these kind of things. You want to be careful with any medication that you take.
Yeah. Guys, be careful. Don't take anything without deep study, research, or better the medical advice. This is the best thing. Okay, let's jump. We mentioned your Jiu Jitsu progress. I want to talk a little bit about that, and then we wrap up. So, about the competition. You participate in competition. You made to the podium. Can you talk a little bit about that day and how you feel? Why you decide to compete? And yeah, anything you want to say about that?
Sure. Um, yeah, I remember talking with people here and deciding whether I want to compete or not and thinking about it. And it was fun. It was a really enjoyable experience. And I wanted the experience. I wanted to try it, to see if
Yeah.
it was something I enjoy. And I ended up having fun. Before, obviously, on the day, you're nervous, you're kind of anxious. But then when I went there and it was over, I was like really glad I did it. I had an awesome time. I got a little bit injured from it, so it's something that I have to weigh if it's important for me in my life or not, and if I want to continue doing competitions. But I'm glad I tried at least once, and I would recommend people who like train jujitsu to just try once. If it's something you enjoy, maybe you get hooked and you want to do more. And if you don't like it or the risks are too much, and it's not, you don't have to do it. The other thing that for me, which I really liked about competition, is you train with a bunch of people in the gym. And at least in our gym, people are very playful and nice, and they allow you to try things.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's hard to get a gauge of what actually worked, how good your jiu-jitsu is. Do you actually know what you know? Like, did you actually hit that sweep or did he let you?
Yeah.
Did you actually escape or does he just want to move position?
So it's a kind of test.
It's a kind of test to see, like, do you actually know a little bit about jiu-jitsu? I'm not going to go in the street and fight a random person, but you want to know.
Sorry. We don't fight, we do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, so you want to like
Jean-Jacques Machado. Let's go.
you wanna try a bit, see like if someone really tries his best to stop me,
Yeah.
can I do something about it?
Yeah.
I think that was a fun
That's a
aspect
very
for me.
nice approach to it. Like, I like it. I like the way you think about it. And so, you made to the podium. You took a second place, right?
Yeah, silver.
Silver place. How you feel about it? It's changing you something? It make you love jiu-jitsu more, be more consistent, or no?
No, it really made no difference. Like the day before and the day after was the exact same. It was just a fun experience to try. I think for me, like what I enjoy about jiu-jitsu is like problem solving and figuring stuff out and learning different things and the small details that make things better. That's fun for me. So irregardless whether you're competing or not, or whether I'm winning in rounds here in the gym, doesn't matter. It's really fun when like something clicks.
Yeah.
That's the like most satisfying feeling when you're trying something and it's not working, or you kept getting like the guy hit the same escape on you 3 times. You figure out the solution to it, you try it, and it clicks, and you're like,
realize, okay, now I know.
now I know what to do. Like that's really satisfying, and that's
amazing.
what I'm addicted to. And I think the fun thing is that like every day there's a new thing. Every day there's a small detail, or like even the basic stuff, the upa escape. Like I change my head position a little. I move my legs to the side. I chain it with something else. I do the elbow escape after. There's a lot of fun things that like the more you learn, you figure out the less you know.
Yeah, that's sad and the best part about jiu-jitsu probably, because the endless process. Anyway, it's not a jiu-jitsu podcast, but we have to talk a little bit. So once you get your blue belt, congratulations. It's been a while already, but what about that? I know we talk sometimes, okay, belts not matter, blah, blah, and it is not matter after some point, but I know because when I get my blue belt, I remember it was matter, even I was thinking it's not, it was matter. So how is it? What this change in you, or don't change, or what's your mind process?
Yeah, so I had a bit of imposter syndrome. Like the day I got my blue belt, I was like, oh, I don't deserve this. I'm not a blue belt. And it was obviously at the time when I got my belt, I was excited and everyone was like cheering for you. It's a happy feeling. But then the next day, everything went back to normal. Same old, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to learn different things and whatever. Now that it's been a little while, I feel like, okay, yeah, no. After training with some people who, I think one
Less
issue,
experience.
yeah, less experienced or new, because one issue you have is I'm improving, but everyone else in the gym is also improving.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell sometimes that you're getting better. And then when you train with someone new or who hasn't trained for a while, you're like, oh, no, I definitely have improved. The only thing that I can say for sure has changed since blue belt is some people just come after you. Like there were people who it was just chill, you know. Like I remember rounds
they have to
before.
prove.
Yeah, I remember our rounds before would be like relaxed and we're trying things, and now it's like, man, like you're going hard. Like, this is not what I was, you know. And it's fine. I understand, but that's the only thing I noticed was changed.
Okay, so it changed how other people like perceive you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, rounds with higher belts got harder. Like all of a sudden you felt like, oh, they were like your lights. How do you say it? Like your mind opened that, oh, they were just playing with me. Like they're taking it easy, you know, like everyone.
Yeah, because you also going harder. So you doing more. You not. I mean, harder not in the physical way. You go in more. You give more problems to them as well. I think that's why. I'm talking from myself. You give me a lot of problems now, so I have to find the keys. Sometimes it's a good crossface. Okay. All right. And so in the end, I want to ask you something. What's your advice, or what you can recommend or say for someone who like overweighted now? He wanted to start something, jiu-jitsu or any another kind of sport, doesn't matter, but not starting. Like any advice for them how to overcome that maybe uncomfortable feeling or fear, or I don't know, because you've been there. Maybe any advice?
Yeah, for sure. I think generally people are really excited when you want to try their hobby. Yeah. Like you're going to show up to the gym, maybe you're a bit obese. No one's going to be like, oh, get out of here. You don't belong here. A lot of people feel that way when they're obese. But most people are going to be excited that you've showed up, you know, and they want to teach you and they want to train you. You can ask people, hey, you know, obviously within reason, don't bother people when they're working out. But if someone's free and standing around in between sets, hey, can you help me with this? I don't know what to do. What do you recommend? Be curious, and people will help. People generally, what I found is a lot of people are nice and they want you to get better and they want to help you, and that sense of community will help. The other thing is make it fun. Yeah, you don't have to go to the gym, you don't have to do jiu-jitsu, just whatever you enjoy and you want to do. Yeah, like something that makes you excited. Maybe it will take a while. That's another thing. It might not be fun at the start. Because you're overweight, because you're unfit, you might try swimming, you might try jiu-jitsu, and the first month sucks, you know, because you're not good enough to have fun yet.
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, this might be fun, stick it out a bit, you know.
Yeah.
If you absolutely hate it, that's another thing, you know, quit, fine.
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, I might enjoy this in a while, stick it out, wait a bit. If it's still not fun, try something else. Eventually you will find something that you want to keep doing. And like, honestly, there is a lot of things you could do in this life, you know. You could fall in love with cycling, you could fall in love with dancing, you could fall in love with just, you know, walking your dog. They're running with your dog. You know, there's a lot of things that you could enjoy. And if you enjoy it, you have community around it. There's people who you miss and you want to show up to the gym to talk to them. Or, you know, they message you, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Where are you?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff makes you want to come more. And as long as you're enjoying it, you'll be able to keep doing it. So have fun. Don't push yourself.
So basically, just try anything. Actually, any activities, correct?
Yeah, just try anything. And if you dread it, you're not going to stick to it.
Yeah. Try. Last few questions.
It would be really funny if you were just not recording the whole time.
Fuck, man, it's gonna be. No, it is, man. It is. If not, because my knees already hurting, man. Like, if you can tell me the one habit that make difference for all your journey, if you can say it's gonna be, if you have to choose one habit that help you, what would be?
And that's a tough question.
If is there any, maybe there is no.
No, I think there is. I'm thinking between two. Maybe I'll just say both.
Just say one and then another one. Then.
Yeah, I think
maybe people choose one of them.
I think for anything, if you're curious, it will help you a lot. Yeah, understanding the why, or wanting to know more. You know, whether it's jiu-jitsu, whether it's at work, whether it's in your dieting journey. Hey, why do people say have a higher protein diet? Why am I tracking these calories? Why would this meal make me more full than the other? Just asking yourself questions like, oh, yesterday I didn't have caffeine in the afternoon and I feel better. Or I felt better yesterday, why? And then it leads you to these answers.
Yeah.
So being curious about your life, about different things, what's going on. And the reason why why I was stuck between two is this is connected to the second one. The why is cool, but the second part is also like 1% better every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being 1% better every day not doesn't mean that consistently you're going to be better, but like sometimes it's hard to be objective. But you learned one thing, you improved one thing, you tried one thing, and maybe that will only pay dividends, 2 months down the line. But if every day you're just trying to improve small things, eventually that accumulates and you'll have like big changes.
Yeah, but that's a good one. But I mean, the real like like this is more concept you said, right?
Yeah.
Which is I agree. But is there any habit what you implement in your life and make a huge difference? If there is no, it's okay.
I don't think of something specific, but I would recommend something for habits. If people want to build habits, there's a really great book called Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Yeah.
I really think that book is probably the best way for anyone who wants to change habits, build more positive habits. He goes in a lot of detail about the mistakes that people commonly do when they try and change habits.
Okay.
He also talks about similar things, about the ideas of starting small, like making your goal 1 push-up a day, then 2, then 3, then 4. He talks about making a checklist of your good. There's a lot of things in the book that are really good in terms of habit changing. So my one recommendation is read that book to fix your habits if you want a habit.
Okay. That's a good advice. So what's your next plans for in your weight loss, body transformation journey? Because I'm sure I hope it's going to be lifelong. Same for me. Any plans, nearest plans, competition, jiu-jitsu wise, not jiu-jitsu wise, getting stronger, slimmer, whatever?
Yeah, so obviously I'm kind of in a maintenance mode right now where I'm trying to stay at the 75. I think one big thing is a lot of people have the drive and they lose weight, but then they gain it back. So it's still some focus and effort to just stay here for a while, make sure that this is the new body weight that I'm comfortable at. I'm okay. I feel aesthetically, I feel health-wise, everything at around 75 kilos.
Okay.
But I might cut a little bit of weight if I want to compete. I might want to compete at like 69 kilo weight class.
Planning soon any competition?
Maybe in November. I'm still dealing with some injuries, which makes me hesitant to compete.
Okay.
It's something that I still want to decide if it's something that I want in my life. And then if I manage to maintain this weight or around this weight for, let's say, a year and a half, something like this, I'm also planning on getting loose skin surgery, because I have some loose skin around like my belly and my chest, which it's not a crazy amount, but it kind of bothers me in the aesthetics for myself, like the way I look when I see myself in the mirror and stuff. So I think eventually it's just now the plan is maintenance, stay around this weight, maybe in the future. The only downside with surgery is it means, time off jiu-jitsu, time where you can't train, you can't do stuff, but we'll see.
While you answer, I get the idea. I have to do the disclaimer. We're talking about jiu-jitsu, nutrition stuff, and blah, blah. You guys, before you're going to throw all your criticism, there is no professional athletes here. We are all hobbyists. We just love it. We just do it for ourselves, and that's it. Okay, so if you're a professional athlete, good for you. Because we are not. Maybe not yet, or maybe it's too late, doesn't matter. So it's okay. We're just trying to enjoy the life. And maybe help someone. So, and the final, what's your message to the day? You can talk to the camera straight, if you have any.
This was really awkward. First time being interviewed. I hope it goes well.
Same here. Doesn't matter how it goes. It goes. So what's
Do we wave to the camera and say bye?
That's it?
That's it. Yeah, I don't have a message.
Okay. He doesn't have a message. It's okay. I have a lot of... If somebody will take interview from me, guys, I have a lot of things prepared. Call me. Actually, that's it for episode 1 of Max Way Stories. Thomas, thank you very much for your time, for being open and honest about everything, and of proving that with enough consistency and hard work, even the hardest changes are very possible. And if you inspired by his story or you like it, share it with someone who might need to hear it now. It might help, might be the right time. And don't forget to subscribe, put a like, comment. Maybe you can share your own story. We've got more people, more real stories coming soon. And remember, you don't have to be in shape to start anything. You start to get in shape. This is Max Way, and you say, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Finally overcoming, baby, 'cause I'm dropping buckets.